Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I am the owner and author behind townsendhouse.com, where I help you implement systems and strategies in order to overcome the chaos and cultivate simplicity in your home and homeschool. Today I am going to be talking all about my September goals progress as well as what I have planned for October. So let's get started. September was a pretty busy month for us. If you watched my August homeschool wrap-up video or even my last goals video, you will know that we are now participating in the public school band and chorus for Emma and Jack, which means we are gone a lot during the day, and it has definitely been a bit of a struggle to keep up with everything. So I'm going to go through what I did for September, what I didn't get accomplished, and then we're going to move into October's action items. So the first thing that was on my list for September was to go to the fair, which we did. Every year we go to the agricultural fair that is in my area, and it is one of my favorite fall traditions. It's one of my kids' favorite fall traditions as well. We did a vlog. It was full of delicious fair food and lots of animals, and we had a really good time. So I'm pleased that we were able to do that this year. The next thing on my list was apple picking and preserving, and we have not gone apple picking yet. The weekend that we had planned to go, it ended up raining all weekend, and then last weekend we should have gone, but instead I stayed home and watched horrible football games on Sunday, and it was a beautiful day and we should have gone apple picking, but we did not. So I'm hoping that this week we will be able to go. Crossing my fingers. It's one of those things that sometimes if we wait too long, we've just missed it, but I'm hopeful that we will get to go this week. The next thing on my monthly action items was my pantry redo, and that did not happen. When I was going into September, I think that I really thought I was going to have a lot more time than I actually had. We were super busy in September, especially trying to figure out how I was going to homeschool around getting the kids back and forth to the public school multiple times in a day, and it was a struggle. So that did not happen at all. And actually the pantry redo has been on my list now for a couple of months, and I probably should stop putting it on there because I know that I do not have the time. And actually when we get to October, you're going to see that I have scaled way back on what my plans are going forward. The next thing on my list was food, medicine, cleaning supplies, inventory, and stock up, and I did do that. I feel like we are pretty much ready. After we moved at the beginning of 2020, I had gone through a lot of our medicine and stuff and like threw away expired things, but I needed to sort of go through and make sure that we had everything that we needed for the fall and for winter. Just, normal stuff to make sure we have what we need before we actually need it, so we don't have to make midnight Walmart runs. The next thing on my list was Q4 budget and just trying to figure out the big purchases that we have. There are a lot of them. We had some unexpected car issues in September. It seems like every month we have unexpected car issues. You'd think that we would just start expecting that there are going to be car issues each month, but we don't. So I did go through and look at our Q4 budget and just try to make some plans as far as where we can save. I run a really tight budget, but the one place that we definitely struggle is food, even though I make most of our meals from scratch and from at home, and I don't buy snacks and pretty much I don't buy any extra things. I would like to, but I can make them if we need them. But food prices have gone up significantly in my area. So, and it's probably the same where you are, and trying to tighten up that budget a little bit. It's, it's a little bit of a struggle, but we're getting there. The next thing on my list was birthday, Thanksgiving, and Christmas lists, and I did start to go through that. They are not finished. It's just the beginning of October when I'm filming this. So I know that things are going to change, but relating to the Q4 budget, I want to make sure that I get a jump start on things. October is a big birthday month for us. It's Lucy's birthday. My niece and nephew both have birthdays, so we have a lot of birthdays, and then Halloween, and then Thanksgiving, and Advent and Christmas. So lots of stuff to plan out for the next few months, and I really enjoy planning for the holidays. I love the holiday season. It's my favorite season, fall right into December. I love it. So I am starting to get organized. It was not a do this and completely finish it. It was just to make progress, and I have made progress on those things. The next thing was first day of public school fun day. And that did not happen. It was, so if you watched my last goals video or my August homeschool wrap-up video, again, I talked about how my kids are participating in the public school band and chorus this year. So the first day of school for us, they were not at school, at the public school. It was essentially me running around like a crazy person trying to get all our forms filled out and make sure that I had everything that we needed so that my kids could start those classes. And so that was a crazy day. My kids had not planned to do the music, and I did not think that they were going to do it either until the day before school started. They mentioned to me that they wanted to, so it was not planned, and that's a struggle. The next thing on my monthly action items was Patreon community. This is something that I have been thinking about doing for a few months now. I have a really active homeschool Facebook group for Maine homeschoolers, which I love, but it's grown so much over the past couple of years, and I really want to have like a smaller community with extra features and things like that. So I am thinking about starting a Patreon community. I don't know if that's something that people will be interested in. Well, we'll see. If I launch it and nobody wants to become a patron, I'll have my answer. So I've been working on that, trying to figure out things that, extra things that I can do for my community. We'll see. I gave myself half credit on that because it's just something that I have been exploring right now. The next thing on my list was a time inventory, and I did do that, and I was happy to see that I am pretty efficient with my time. I have to be, with going back and forth to the school every day. It really forces me to make sure that I utilize every minute of our day, which unfortunately is not really how I like to live, because I like to make sure that I create margin, and I do have some margin, but unfortunately that margin is really taken up by travel and planning and making sure that things are just in order so that we can get where we need to be when we need to be there. I did, several years ago, I spoke at a couple of homeschool conferences about creating margin in your day, and I'm kind of at a crossroads right now because there is that desire for margin and for being able to slow down, but I'm not sure how realistic it is with how busy we are in our homeschool life right now. I put my October calendar together. I'll insert a picture here so that you can see. It is just, there is something every single day, except obviously you see our Saturdays are pretty much blank, and that is really my catch-up day for cleaning and getting the house back in order so that we can start our week fresh. I don't know how it's going to go. It's definitely a struggle for me because it isn't exactly how I want to live my life. And my kids are struggling a little bit with the busyness. They love being with their friends, but it's also noticeable to them that they are not able to do as many interest-led learning opportunities as they normally have time for when we are at the school all the time. But they're also passionate about music and really love their teachers and going to the classes. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm actually going to do a homeschool wrap up for September video. It'll probably be up right after this one goes up. So if you're interested in that, you can stay tuned for it. There's a lot of stuff to think about. The next thing on my list was my planning day, which I put on my schedule. Unfortunately, it was a day when we were out of the house for Jack and Emma's band, and so I was not able to keep that time for my planning day, and I ended up doing it over a week again, the same way that I did in August. And so in October, I really have to stay on that planning day because I feel behind when I don't sit down and work on that stuff just all at one time, when I'm trying to do little pieces of it throughout the last week, first week of the month. It doesn't make me feel prepared and like I'm ready to go. So I did plan out my month, but it was not just on the one day, which is what I try to do. So now we're moving into the weekly action items. The first thing was winter prep. For my weekly action items, it was garden, planting garlic, which doesn't actually happen until October, food preservation, that kind of stuff. I was able to do a little bit of that each week. I put up a bunch of sweet peppers in the freezer. You can just like chop them and throw them in gallon freezer bags and put them in the freezer for chili through the winter, or just using whatever. I did make some meals. I made some stock, just kind of getting an idea to have things in the freezer or preserved for the winter season. The next thing on my weekly action items list was my Sunday planning, and that's when I kind of set up my schedule or rhythm for the week, and I make sure that I have everything for our homeschool planned out in my teacher planner. It makes my life easier if I just do it on Sunday afternoons. Sometimes I did get it done every week, so I planned out my week, but there were a couple of weeks that I finished my planning on Monday morning, which I don't like to do. I like to have everything ready so that Monday we can just start. I felt a little behind this month. The next thing on my list was Townsend House backend work, which I did do that most weeks. There was one week that I did not work on that, and it was mainly because we were just so busy, running like crazy. And then the last thing on my weekly action items was food prep and lunch prep, which I did do. This helps to keep things moving. There was one week where I put out a post in my main homeschool network Facebook group asking what everybody else was making, because it was 3:30. I had nothing planned for dinner. I did not want to make anything, and everybody was really all in on all of their meal ideas. It helped me get through the rest of September because they gave me so many good ideas. So I'm going to keep doing that because it was nice to see what everybody else was making. And then we moved to the daily action items. The first thing on my list was to read, and I did read every day, read fiction. I did read fiction every day. I'm back into a good rhythm of that. I've been doing my reading at night. I am enjoying reading fiction a lot this year. I've read a significant number of books, more books than I've read in many, many years. And it's been wonderful. I'm so pleased with the reading. I think that it has helped me decompress. I haven't been doing a lot of my other hobby type things for a couple of years, which is funny because you think, with everybody having so much time at home last year, that's the time to start doing your hobbies, and you have extra time at home. You're not going a bunch of places, but I didn't. I didn't. So reading is something that I enjoy immensely, and that is what I've been doing for my free time hobby type thing. Going walking every day, which I did, and that was a lot of fun. I'm trying to go with the kids for a walk most days. It gets us out of the house, especially gets us outside, not just like in the car for car schooling. My evening routine, I did this most days. My evening routine is essentially me just journaling a little bit in the night, in the evening, and reading and trying to decompress from the day. I've really needed to do that this past month, especially because I am exhausted by the end of the day. I am an introvert. I know I've said this so many times, a highly sensitive person, and just constantly being on the go, it takes the energy out of anybody, but I really have been feeling exhausted lately. And when I start feeling that run down, I know it's only a matter of time before I start to get sick, and I don't want to get sick. There's too many things to do. So having that time in the evening where I can just decompress has been very helpful for me. The next thing on my list was Bible reading. I'm trying to finish a 90-day chronological Bible reading plan that I started. I think I started it in the summer, and I read for like 20 days and then I stopped. And I really wanted to start reading more large chunks of the Bible again. I did it for about, let's see, maybe half of the days this month I worked on that. It's definitely challenging because I'm getting up in the morning and trying to get stuff packed for car schooling, for when either Jack or Emma is at the school. We have about an hour of time where I have to do school in the car. So making sure that I have everything packed and ready to go in the morning is important. I could probably do it at night, but like I said, I'm so drained at the end of the day that I can't even think about putting stuff, getting it ready for the next morning. I'm much better in the morning to do that. So I do want to continue. I'm hoping that I can finish this chronological plan before January 1st. We shall see. The next thing on my list was my main homeschool network check-in, which I did do. And then reading with the kids, I did put that down because sometimes when we are super busy, I do not do as much of our fun reading as I would like. And I wanted to make sure that I did do that. And we did do that every day except for one day. So I'm really pleased about that. And we read some good books this month. So if you're interested, you can watch my September homeschool update whenever that comes up. Okay. So now I'm going to go into October, and also if this is the first time you are here, I do my fall refresh. I do my seasonal refreshes about a month early. So I already did my fall refresh at the end of August, beginning of September. I will leave a link for that video if you are interested. I really do think of September, October, November as fall, and December is its own thing because we're so busy around the holidays. We take our big homeschool break. So that month in general is just different for me when I'm thinking about goal planning. So if you will look, there is not a lot on this list. I have no priority, no encouraging words. And in fact, I had a little bit of a struggle trying to figure out what I was going to do for October. If you, again, in my fall refresh video, I did talk about how I have accomplished about 90% of what I had wanted to do for the year. I don't know if it was because I just was super realistic about my time going into this year, which made me feel really successful with what I was able to do, or if I could have planned more stuff, or even now, like when I was doing my fall refresh and thinking, geez, I don't have a whole lot of stuff left that I wanted to do. But at the same time, I have really felt the pull to slow down a little bit. And which is, I know it's so weird because last year was so slow, but it didn't feel refreshing the way that slow living really feels to me normally. So when I sat down to look at October, I almost didn't even do attending list because I felt like I just needed a break. And it wasn't that I didn't want to work on my goals. It was looking at my calendar and seeing all of the things that we are going to be doing and realizing that if I then tried to put a bunch of goal things down that I wanted to work on, I wasn't going to be able to accomplish those things if I put them down. And I didn't want to become discouraged from not being able to accomplish those things. So I am taking a big step back in October. I think that it's important to recognize if you are super busy or in a busy season, it's okay to take a step back and not be stressed because you don't have a ton of time to work on things. Yeah. The first thing on my monthly action items for October is to celebrate Lucy because her birthday is this month. I'm really excited. She's really excited. She actually wrote me a list of things that she wanted for her birthday right after Jack's birthday in August. So I have a little slip of paper that she's written a bunch of items on. Surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, they're very similar to things that Jack wanted for his birthday. So I don't know if maybe he was helping her. Jack is her buddy, so I don't know what we're going to be doing. And this month really is going to be more about my awesome adulting goal. Yeah, some less fun things that I need to do this month. Doctor appointments. And then the next thing on so I am going to my doctor's appointments. I made all of my appointments. I'm going to the doctor's. I hate going to the doctor's, but you just have to do it. The next thing on my monthly action items is to write a will. This is an emotional, hard thing for me. I don't want to do it thinking about any sort of what happens after I die thing is not something that is easy for me to think about, but it is the responsible thing to do. And so I need to work on that stuff. If anybody's interested in giving me some tips, or if you want to know what I end up doing, let me know. The next thing on my monthly action items is life insurance. I have gotten a bunch of quotes for life insurance, I guess, but just finishing that paperwork. I need to do that. The next thing on my list is more fun, and that is to brainstorm 2022 content for my blog and YouTube. Usually I have a bunch of ideas or themes that I want to work around based on, I don't know, I just end up getting ideas and I will brainstorm them. I put them in my little notebook and we just go for it. So I am going to do that. Will I finish? No. I know that there are some people that plan all of their content well in advance. I'm not as much like that, and I've never been a blogger like that. It's always been more in the moment for me, something that is either on my heart to share or something that I have seen in the homeschool community that makes me say, oh, I should do that, or it is related to my personal self-care, personal development, that kind of stuff that I just really feel called to share about. So that'll be another thing. Then my planning day, which I have for October 28th, I need to keep it this month. I need to keep it this month. The next thing on my list is budget. I have to set up my budget for the month. And then the last thing on my monthly action items is we are on vacation for the first week in October. Not on vacation from homeschool. We have some activities and my kids need a break and I need a break. We've done, how many weeks of school? Maybe 9 weeks of school so far. So I thought it was a good time to break. Usually we go pretty much right until Thanksgiving, and then we take a larger break at Christmas. But this year we were all ready for a break, so we're going to take a week off of school. Then that's one of the joys of homeschooling. We can take a break when we need it. We will still be at public school some days, but we have some other activities that we are doing. So that is what it is. And that's my monthly action item. So it's really not a lot of stuff, which is what I need. So then for weekly action items, it is food prep, which I have been doing. I've been putting this on my weekly action items list for a couple of months now, and it's really keeping me accountable to make sure that I prepare some food in advance of our week so that I can grab stuff, making sure I have things for sandwiches or snacks or some baked goods because it's been a little bit cooler here. So I've been able to do that. It's been helpful when I can just pull things out of the fridge rather than trying to do it in the moment. That's much easier that way. The next thing is homeschool prep, which I always put on my list. Having a day on Sundays when I can just sit down and write out what we need to do for the week is super helpful. It helps set my week up so much better than if I'm trying to do it in the morning. And I'm super realistic about the time that we have. That's why I do weekly planning. I did do a whole video on how I do weekly planning if you're interested in seeing that. And then the final thing on my weekly action items is a budget check-in. Again, I just want to make sure that I am super tight on the budget for the next couple of months. Things like food and going into the holidays, making sure that I have our food budget accounted for like Thanksgiving and Christmas, Advent, everything. I just need to stay on top of it. And then for my daily action items, I only have 3 things on here. I probably could put more, but I don't want to stress myself out. So it is read, exercise, and my main homeschool network check-in. Those are the only 3 things that I want to make sure that I do every day. Reading is usually at night or during the morning time for me. So it's either part of my AM or PM routine. And then just exercise, just trying to work off some energy, nervous energy. And then my main homeschool network check-in with my Facebook group to approve posts and answer questions, etc. That is all that I have planned for October. It isn't a lot, or maybe it seems like a lot to you, but it really is not a lot. I'm hoping for a successful month. I'm also starting to think a little bit about 2022. I did get my Powersheets. I have a video if you're interested in the walkthrough for the 2022 Powersheets. They made a bunch of actually kind of significant changes in my mind. The same process is there, but how they are organizing things is a little bit different, and the seasonal refreshes are definitely different. I'll have more thoughts about that as we move into the fall and start to think ahead to 2022, which is crazy to me. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you will give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.